All right. We are live. Okay. Welcome, YouTubers and Facebook. Again, we are not celebrating, we're just doing our New Year, New You, New book event. And we're focusing on health and wealth and empowerment on today. We have had some exciting speakers, and we got more to come. And right now, we're excited that we're in the presence of Mr. Hugh Jenkins. Thank you so much for being here. He wrote the book here, Fasting and Prayer. And we invite you to come to the Doc Bookshop if you can. We definitely will have his books in store as well. But thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate being here so I can share my knowledge and wisdom with you and with the others.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Hugh Jenkins, and I'm just going to allow you just to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, kind of, who are you?
Okay. Thank you for everybody to being here and in person, also in Facebook land or TV land is the way it used to be called. My name is Dr. Hugh Jenkins. I'm a naturopathic and chiropractic physician. I am originally from Chicago, and I moved down here with my Texas wife because I took her up to Chicago, and she didn't like Chicago's cold, and I was tired of it too. So I brought her down to keep her happy and to keep us warm. Even though this weather here in Texas is sort of getting crazy, but that's okay. Yeah, and one thing that got me to going through fasting is that I had some personal health issues myself. When I was in high school, I was on the track team, and a doctor came to do sports physicals, and he said that there was something wrong with my heart. And so I had to go to the hospital, University of Chicago, and to get a complete cardiac workup. And so what they found out is that when I'm dormant, like I am now, sitting down or even laying down, my heart was irregular. But when I was on the treadmill, my heart was regular, which is usually reversed than other people.
Okay.
So I could start practicing, and I was a pole vaulter there, which I like to jump to high levels, get up there with God.
Okay.
And so that was my senior year in high school. My freshman year in college, I went and got a physical. And because my family, mother and father, were already into natural healing, taking vitamins and giving us that, I read up on vitamin E and started taking that. When I got to college and got a physical, I let them know I had a heart problem. They gave me a complete physical, and they said, your heart's in perfect health. That's God's medicine. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. And so I was taking pre-med so that I could go to medical school, because at 3 years old, I wanted to become a doctor. So I had that desire from there. I was put into my heart and my mind and my spirit to help either people out, with their health. My father introduced me to Dr. Elvina Fulton in my senior year. And I didn't know until after he introduced me that he had fasted 4 years beforehand with her. And so she was a naturopathic doctor and a priest physician. And she told me that, well, it's good that you're going into medicine, but we need more people to go into natural medicine instead of allopathic medicine, which is drug medicine. So she told me about a National College of Naturopathic Medicine where I applied to, and I got in. When I got there, what I did is I got their catalog and found out that they had the exact same curriculum as regular medical school: basic science, anatomy and physiology, clinical work, and everything, except they had some other classes in natural healing. Iridology, you can look in the eyes and find out what's wrong with somebody. Herbology, because God has put down everything on this planet, herbs that heal you, and fruits and vegetables to feed you. So finding out from that that was interesting. So I took classes in that because it leaded me into that. And so besides that, she took me under her wing and allowed me when I had time off from school, like summers and other breaks, to come back to Chicago and study under her. She was so impressed with me that she allowed me to see her patients. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so that I was able to assist them and get them on fast with her. But then from what I learned in school, like iridology, the science and practice of reading the eyes, find out what's wrong.
That's called iridology.
Iridology, the iris of the eyes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Iridology.
Yeah. Science and practice of reading the eyes to find out what's wrong with the body, past, present, and future, hereditary signs of lesions, and vitamin and mineral deficiency. It does not diagnose disease. Because, for example, if I look into your eyes and I see that you might have an issue, but let me give you an example. I saw one lady and she had some issues with her female organs. And I said, is there anything wrong with your uterus? And she said, yes, I have a fibroid tumor. How did you know that? I said, I can see it because the body tells us what's going on. Besides the eyes, you can do reflexology in the hands and the feet. Okay. And so the energy channels and acupuncture end up in the hands and the feet. So the body is really interconnected when you're in tune with the universe, when you're in tune with God. So these things are really good. So she allowed me to see her clients. And so I saw people came into her office that were on stretchers, that were on wheelchairs from all over the world, because she, besides being a naturopathic doctor and a priest physician, okay, she was also the world's authority of fasting at her time.
And say her name again.
Dr. Elvina Fulton.
Elvina Fulton.
Right.
Okay.
She's in my book, and she was an African-American doctor on the south side of Chicago. And people came from all over the world to fast under her. And being a physician, they would get that physical healing, but being a priest physician, she also gave them spiritual healing, okay, prayed over them and things like that. So that was something that was really interesting.
I bet she was awesome.
She was awesome. She was awesome. And one thing that she would always tell people that people would ask her age, and she said, a woman that tells her age tells everything. So I did not know Dr. Fulton's age, even though I was close to her like a son, until maybe a year or so when she passed away. And she passed away at 1999 at 94 years old.
Oh, wow.
And she worked a year until she passed away. So she was blessing folks with that. But the thing about fasting that I learned from her is that it slows down the aging process. Okay?
How many of y'all knew that? You knew that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because what you're doing is that we eat too much, and it takes a lot of energy to process it. 70% of the body's energy is used to fast. When you're not fasting and giving the body a rest, it doesn't have to burn up that energy, burn itself out just like a car. Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's very, very beneficial for that. So she would do that, and she would have, besides having people from all over the world come in, she also had other doctors come in to see her as clients. So I had the opportunity to meet OB-GYNs, who was this one doctor. He was resident at Cook County Hospital, and he was able to get me to see clients as a student at Cook County Hospital. So I had the chance to deliver babies at home in naturopathic medicine and babies in the hospital. And there's a 180-degree difference with that, you see. So when we do get these people to have home deliveries, and nowadays they have birthing centers in the hospitals, because they see how by integrating that natural healing and drug healing together, you get the best for the patient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of people are
Right,
really more
exactly.
that. Mhm.
you see. So I decided, okay, what I need to do is, besides learning from Dr. Fulton, she introduced me to OB-GYNs, to chiropractors, and I'm a retired chiropractor now, and also um, osteopath, many doctors in many health fields. And so by doing that, what I did is learn the fasting myself personally, because in natural healing, you got to be your best commercial. I can't tell people to lose weight if I'm over 200 pounds more than I should be. Okay. So I had to learn how to fast, which was no problem, because fasting is the absence of solid food. It's just like giving up one
So
meal.
how often do you fast?
Well, what I do nowadays, I do intermittent fasting. So like this morning, I had it's called a liver flush to help flush out the liver, because that organ holds 1/3 of the body's blood at all times. So if you're drinking too much, and that's not just alcohol, but too much teas, coffees, too much these sports drinks and all the rest of this, these toxic drinks, especially these high sugar things,
Mhm.
it has to do some extra work. So flushing out the liver is very important, and that's part of preparing for a fast. And so I did my intermittent fast today. I did not eat anything until noontime. Okay. But prior to that, when I was doing regular fast, I would do 1 day a week, 3 days a month. Okay. Right.
Okay.
And 1 day a week is 24 to 36 hours. And if one thing about that is that a lot of people I've talked with here and in Chicago and other places, because I've toured around the world doing lectures locally, nationally, internationally, is that some people say, well, I've gone a 7-day fast, 14-day fast, a 21-day fast, a 40-day fast. I said, okay, I've never done a long fast like that, because with me doing 1 day a week, 3 days a month, in a year's time, I'm doing 76 days. So I'm getting in a long fast because it slows down things. So everybody can do that. And one thing about fasting is that everybody fasts. There is no exception. Everybody fasts
Daily.
daily,
Right.
from the infancy to elderly, and it's called sleep.
Sleep. Right.
Yeah. Okay. And a lot of people do intermittent fast, and they don't know that they're doing it, because some folks say, well, when is the last meal you had? Well, my last meal is from 5 to 7 o'clock. Well, when do you eat your first meal? Well, 11, 12 o'clock. I said, then you've already done fasting. Okay, so you've done a 12-hour fasting. Let's say if your last meal is at 6, and then the next meal's at 12 o'clock. That's 12 plus 6, that's 18 hours.
Mhm.
Okay, and so they don't realize they're doing intermittent fasting on a regular basis. Now, this is the beginning of the year, January, and a lot of people are doing the Daniel's fast, and the Daniel's fast, I call it a diet, because what it is that you are not fasting. I learned from Dr. Fulton, fasting is the absence of solid food. You're not eating anything whatsoever. But on the Daniel's fast, because you're giving up certain foods, like Daniel did, he was a vegetarian. He ate no meats whatsoever. And so on a Daniel's fast, you're not eating meats, any sweet sugar, and sugar is the most addictive substance that we have. Okay. Very addictive.
Mhm.
Okay. And no white flour, any processed food, or things like that, to give the body an internal rest. And you can incorporate the intermittent fast in there. So it's for 21 days. And fasting is on a cycle of 7, 14, 21 days. It's important, though, that you can't just jump into a fast from the average American diet. Okay, we went from the sweet and dangerous season,
Mhm.
which was Halloween to New Year's. More folks are eating the wrong food, more sweets, and drinking more
All
alcohol.
holiday eating. Right?
Yes, exactly. And more people get sick and die during this period. So you need to prepare for that. When I was studying with Dr. Fulton. She put people on a 5-day cleansing diet to start the process of cleansing. Okay, because in that amount of time you're just scratching the surface.
Is cleansing and fasting the same?
You can cleanse during the fast, but you also have to cleanse before the fast, the pre-fast. Because if you still have all those toxins in there and you're not eating anything, the body goes through a process called autolysis, self-eating. It eats the toxins in there. So if you got all this, you're going to be going through a healing crisis, headaches, fatigue, and a number of things. If you prepare for that fast by cleansing, starting to clean the body out, it's going to be a much easier, much positive event in your life. So Dr. Fulton, she would put people on a 5-day cleanse, and it would be fruit juices, herbal teas, and a protein mixture, and eating only fruits. Now, the thing about it, that was back in the day when we didn't have as many people with diabetes and pre-diabetes, okay? Diabetes used to be adult onset diabetes, whereas people in the elders, our parents, more of our grandparents, great aunts, great uncles would have diabetes that they develop in their older age. It's been renamed to diabetes type 2 because our kids are having old folks diseases.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I read about that. There's been an increase. Yeah.
Right. High blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis. Kids are on high blood pressure medicine at 10 years old. Something's wrong with that picture.
That's crazy.
Yes, it is. And they need to fast, but not eating fast food. Okay. So we definitely need
That's a
to.
whole nother conversation.
Yes, exactly. We need to prepare our children for that. Okay. And we eat too much food. Moving down here to Texas was a wake-up call for me because I'm used to eating in Chicago from a plate. Here in Texas, you eat from a platter. Okay. Bigger and better, right?
It's bigger in Texas, right?
Right. So we need to fast. And even if you're doing that 1 day a week, for 24 to 36 hours and prepare for that. So preparation, we can't just do it on fruits because we have so much diabetes and pre-diabetes and another disease called hyperglycemia, which is low blood sugar. Okay, so we need to have not just the fruits, but we need to have vegetables and more vegetables than fruits. But fruits for cleansing, so you got to clean that stuff out, and vegetables for building, and then go into the fast from there. Okay, so I've been fasting people since I met Dr. Fulton in 1974. And I was so blessed that she allowed me to be on her staff when we fasted 120 people from all over the country from Christmas Eve in 1974 to New Year's. And during that fast, we just drank distilled water, lemon, and honey. And we were in Reverend Abernathy's gymnasium in Atlanta, Georgia. And I asked Dr. Fulton, one part of fasting, one of the fasts is called the air fast. They call it a dry fast now, where you're not taking in anything whatsoever except for air. And she said, the way that you to get water in your system is that you get it through your skin, through the showers, because we would shower in the men and women's bathrooms, okay? And then through the enemas we did every day. Enemas are very important during fasting because you want to flush out the colon, which is considered the sewer system of the body. And if that stuff's not being flushed out, it's going to recycle and it's going to make you feel dis-ease, out of balance, headache, nausea. You might even throw up because it's coming out the wrong way. We want to flush that out every day. Okay, so I did that. And so I did a 3-day air fast. And I was part of her staff, so I had to help monitor those 120 people. But my energy level hit rock bottom. And I said, Dr. Fulton, how can I get my energy back up? She said, what we do 5:30 in the morning, every morning, we meditated. And she said, tap on the energy of the meditation. And the fantastic thing about fasting is that because you're not using energy for digestion, you're using it for mental power. So I was able to tap on that energy from those 120 people, and my energy level shot through the roof. That's the part of being in tune with Mother Nature, with the spirit. Okay?
Mhm.
So when you are fasting and praying, which is God's healing therapy, you have to use those two together because we're using mind, body, spirit, and emotions. Because when you're in a state of dis-ease and emotions, just
Mhm.
the body-mind connection, which they're talking about nowadays, you
Mhm.
have to do that to be in tune with your higher self, with the higher spirit, God, the spirit, whoever you call him or her, he, she, God.
Mhm.
Okay, since we give more, you all were the first people on this planet. Okay, and we come from the womb of man, womb man. Okay, and I like to say that because it has been known that the first person on this planet was a woman in Africa.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the thing about it is that, for example, when Jesus, the disciples said, well, Jesus, we cannot heal this man. What are we not doing? He said, the only way that, I think it was a boy, the only way through healing is through fasting and prayer. You have to use the two together. Okay? Now, one thing is that if you are going through emotional problems, it's good to pray during that time, because one thing about prayer is that's when we're talking to God, that connection. Okay?
Mhm.
When we're meditating, we're listening to God. And we need to listen more than we need to pray. So you should pray first thing in the morning. And because we're used to eating 3 meals a day and we're not eating, then use that time to pray 3 times a day to connect with God. Okay?
I like that.
Yeah. So one thing that I like to tell you in the book is this that I got from Dr. Fulton, is that fasting is nature's operating table. Okay?
Oh.
And I added to that, prayer is God being our inner surgeon. Okay? An operating table and the inner surgeon. Because that's one thing about if you have a dis-ease and the doctors tell you you have an incurable disease, then you have to say, yes, doc, I found out through God, I do have an incurable disease. I have an incurable disease. Because healing's from the inside out and from the top down and from the most recent to the past. Because nobody outside of you can heal you. So when you are fasting and give the body more energy to do its work, then it's going to function better. Okay? So if a person has has to work, not a mental illness, mental health, but needs more mental power, they should fast during that time. When I was in med school, I fasted during quizzes, during tests, midterms, finals, all that time, because that 70% of energy was not being used, so it went up to my brain, and so I was supercharged with that. So that's how that works. Yeah.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
This is it's good stuff though.
Yeah.
Very, very fascinating information.
You know,
Okay.
and then we purify and rejuvenate. Okay, we purify during the fast, and if you do it one day for every year that you're alive, then it gives the body the chance to uh, rejuvenate and forgive itself for the negative stuff that you've done for every year. One day for every year. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a plus right there. Okay? And it slows it down because I've had evaluations of my body through this machine called a biotracker.
Mhm.
And one thing about it picks up your metabolic age. And your metabolic age is how you're aging internally. Most people age older internally than they are externally.
That happened to me, and I was very insulted. Someone did that to me, and they said I had a body of I am 52.
Okay, a young sprout.
No, they age this. I have a body of a 70-year-old.
Okay, okay.
And okay, granted, I don't work out. I need to, yeah, I know I
Mhm.
can do better.
Okay.
But yeah, so anyway.
Well, I've been on it, and it's interesting that I tried to do it, and I think the machine is broken.
So I'm wondering if I attempt to fast one day a week. What's your fasting day?
My fasting day has always been on Wednesday, but I've also found out because even after the book and before the book, but after the book, I'm constantly learning more and more research that you should fast on your personal New Year, your holy day. And your holy day is the day that you were born.
Fast on your birthday?
Fast on your birthday, your holy day. And your holy day is the day of the week you were born. So I was born on a Friday.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm a rearrange my birth. Oh, my fasting day from Wednesday to Friday. Okay, but
you gonna fast on a Friday? Okay, let me ask you something. When you do your fast, how long do you fast? Is it like from the morning till 6?
Well, if it's a 24-hour fast, it's from dinner to dinner or breakfast from breakfast, a thing like that. Okay, if it's a 36-hour fast.
But would Friday be hard if you it's Friday? You know what I'm saying? That's a hard day to fast.
And that's one thing about fasting is that a lot of folks say, well, I can't fast because I might go out, a holiday might happen like that. But in fasting, it's part of giving up something of a lesser value to get something of a greater value. You become more spiritual, physical, and emotional aware.
Well, yeah, I get
Right.
that. Yeah.
And it's your choice. Everybody's choice. Mine's been Wednesday. I might keep it Wednesday. I might go back and forth. It's the way that things vibrate and resonate with you.
Right.
Okay. So it's very important to do that.
I know I need to do that better.
Okay.
That's why I'm so excited that you're here because I feel motivated to start fasting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when you add the prayer to that, that was one thing that I had in reference to the book. I told my wife that, I don't think I have enough knowledge to write the book. This was some years back. She said, oh, yes,
you got a devotional. You got a 21-day devotional within your book.
Yes, a 21-day devotional in your book. So that you can walk through that. And I'll be having master classes with that to help people do that, to go through a fast. Because, you can go on a 21-day fast, but you should do it properly with a cleansing beforehand. The 5 days was just scratching the surface, but you should go on a cleansing for 7 to 14 days. You can go on a fast for a cycle of 7, 14, 21 days. And then the most important part of the fasting program is the breakfast. Okay, some folks say, well, I don't eat breakfast. If your first meal is either at 12 o'clock or 6 p.m., it doesn't make a difference. It's still breakfast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And a sausage biscuit is not.
No. No. Because the longer you fast, the deeper the digestive system is. And if you put some heavy food in, you can literally go into shock.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And some people have gotten to the point that, I'm going out, so I'm going to break my fast on some junk food or some food outside. And some people have gotten so sick that they ended up in the hospital because it was a shock to the body. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a serious thing.
It's serious.
It's serious. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I got a question.
Any
Question,
questions? Yes.
Yeah, besides the 24-hour, what's the lesser one you talked about?
The intermittent fast.
And that's how many hours?
Intermittent fast can either be 12 to 12, 12 hours with no
Oh, yes.
food, and then 12-hour with food. The most common one is the 16-8, 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating. Now, when during that time, some people I've seen, heard on YouTube or whatever, well, you can eat whatever you want. No, then you're abusing God's temple, okay? Because the American diet, the Western diet, is so toxic that people are dying from their disease. 80% of cancer, for example, is caused by the American diet. Okay, and all digestive problems are from what you ate. So
I got another one.
okay.
I remember one time when I did try and fast at the church,
Mhm.
and then I ate something sweet, really sweet, and I got nauseated right away within 15
Right.
minutes. I don't understand why I got nauseated with something that was sweet.
Because sugar is a poison. Okay, and it is more toxic and does
Processed sugar, right?
processed sugar. The natural sugar that you get from the foods, like the fruits and vegetables, and ideally the low glycemic foods, which is low sugar in there, it's better for you. But the processed sugar has no benefit whatsoever. One candy bar has so much sugar in it that it throw you back 3 months nutritionally.
Really?
Yes, that's why it takes
Wow.
3 to 6 to 9 months to cleanse down to the cell level.
Wow.
Really
How many
important.
months?
A minimum of 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A Snicker can do all that.
Yes. And that's why in the schools, the teachers will give the kids sugar as a reward and wonder why these kids are so wired for sound. You see? And that's one thing that is
And
important.
everything has sugar in it.
Everything
Those
has
things.
sugar in it. And if you teach the kids to fast, then okay, well, why don't we have a smoothie that doesn't have the sugar in it? Protein,
Right.
collagen, and if you're gonna put a smoothie, you can fast off of anything that's liquid. Fruit juices, herbal teas, smoothies, things like that, because it's liquid, a liquid diet.
Okay.
Some people say, well, you're not doing a true fast unless it's a water fast. No, my first marathon in 1983, I fasted for 4 days and did not break it until after the marathon. And I did that on fruit and a great massage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yes.
What type of fast do you recommend? Do you recommend the Daniel's fast to people?
Well, if that's the first fast for them to get introduced to, because everybody's entirely different. So what I do is I find out what that person's lifestyle is like. And if they never done a fast, during this time in January, every year, the majority of churches do a Daniel's fast.
Right.
But what if you've done a fast before?
If you've done a fast before, then you can incorporate that fast with the Daniel's fast, with intermittent fast, with anything, and whatever resonates with you at that time in your life.
Okay, because you explained also, I had that headache,
Mm-hmm.
and because I had to go in for a procedure,
Right.
and they told me to fast, and I got the headache that you were talking
Right.
about. So what is the that you recommend?
Oh, that cleansing.
Oh, the cleansing diet. Yeah, I
Yeah.
prepared the cleansing diet, and people can get that from me. So you want to start the process of cleaning out the body, with the herbal teas and all the herbs that God has. For every natural disease, there's a natural cure. And for every drug, there's a natural substitute. Okay, so as you start to clean the toxins that you build up throughout the years down that have been down to the cell level, then you want to clean that stuff out. So you can do it with fruits, you can do it with vegetables. One lady wrote the book, The Great Cure, which this book was written back in the 1930s. She cured herself, she did it, of cancer with grapes. Okay,
Interesting.
there's watermelon fast. It's because watermelons are 98% water. So you eat and put it in the blender, even with the seeds in there, to grind that up so that can get in there, because the seeds of that can help to dissolve parasites, which everybody has, from microscopic to the 30-foot tapeworm. And this will help with that. And a lot of times when they tell you to fast, like the doctor tells you to fast for a blood work thing, they don't tell you what to fast off of, And they say, well, only just drink water. Now, if you're drinking tap water, which is poison, it's not like when we were growing up, we could wash the car or with the hose or water the lawn, and we could drink from the hose. Nowadays, you'll die from that because there's so much toxins in there. So you want to drink distilled water, purified water, reverse osmosis, spring water, and ideally out of a bottle, not a plastic bottle, a glass bottle. Okay, so it's that. Eat a lot of fruits. If you're going into with a process to fast for the doctor, eat fruits, vegetables, ideally green leafy vegetables, and the more greens, the more color it is better for you. And,
Right.
And then also it's very important, for example, if you're having some issues with certain areas of the body, if you know anything about the energy, I do energy medicine. There's 7 chakras, and each one of the chakras have a color to them. So if you eat that food or drink that food, let's say like if a man has or a woman has problems with their sexual organs, and that's the root chakra, that color is red. Eat something or drink something. Well, we talk about fasting. Drink something that's red, and that energy of that food will heal that body. Okay. And for example, one of my cases, this couple had problems with infertility, and they came to me from California when I was in Chicago, and I tested them, and both of them, the results was about the same because they lived with each other for a period of time. And I took them through the cleansing detoxification. I said in the program, and a corrective lifestyle, not just a corrective diet, but a corrective lifestyle. We're talking about mind, body, and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot have a positive fasting experience if you have a negative thoughts.
That's good.
Okay.
Say it again.
Mm.
You cannot have a positive fasting experience if you have negative thoughts. Okay, but you'd be surprised the more that you cleanse the body, mind, body, spirit, and emotions. That's where the prayer helps in that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
talking with God and meditating, listening to God, because He'll tell you what you need if you listen. Be still and let God, and He will change your negative thoughts to positive feelings. And another thing that I encourage my patients to do is mirror exercises in the morning. Do your affirmations and your prayers and your meditations, okay, in the mirror, okay, so that you know who you're looking at. Because with me talking to you in the audience, I'm sending energy out, but in the mirror, it comes back to me, okay? So you're saying that, and smile in the mirror, because smile stands for starting my internal love engine. Okay, get that?
Oh, I learned something new today.
Yeah. Starting my internal love engine. And when you're loving yourself, then you can love somebody else. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And there's so many people that don't know how to love themselves to share that love. Okay, and smiling is contagious. Okay, and you're in more peace and joy and love when you are in a state of fasting and prayer. Okay, because you're more centered and you're more in tune with God. Okay, and when people have come to me and they say, well, I'm having some problems with this, and I said, well, where is God? I said, because God can cure you. He said, well, God said, well, where else is God? God is here. And God is within. Okay, and that's why when you fast and you pray and you ask for God for incurable issues, He will do that for you. Okay. Now, during a fast, you also have what is called a healing crisis. The healing crisis is that the toxins in the body, you got layers and layers of toxins. So it's being released. So you're going to have these symptoms of a dis-ease. So I'll give you example, a respiratory disease. When you're in a state of dis-ease, you're going from a cold to a flu to bronchitis to asthma to emphysema to lung cancer. You're in a state of dis-ease. But in a healing crisis, you're reversing that. So from lung cancer to asthma from lung cancer, emphysema, asthma, bronchitis, the flu, to the cold. The symptoms look the same, but it's different because the body is cleaning itself out. So when we have a cough, the body's trying to clean itself out. But what do we give folks? A cough suppressant. So it drives it deeper down into the system so they're in the state of dis-ease instead of ease, state of health. Okay, so with that, we want to get people to fast and pray. You know, even if you just say, thank you, God, for waking me up this morning. Simple one. It doesn't have to be a long prayer,
Right.
but it can be something simple. And looking into the Bible, you know, and even if you're not a Christian, if you look into the Quran or any other healing scripture, they're there. In every religion, there's no exception. Every religion, fasting is common to that religion. Okay? The Muslims do Ramadan and they fast from sun up to sundown because that's when the energy is the highest. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I just realized how late. Okay, we over time.
You got me going. I enjoy sharing.
Okay, we definitely had a wealth of information and knowledge. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. Okay, so if you want to talk more with Dr. Hugh Jenkins, he will be at his table back there, and you can purchase a book. Actually, you said you got some books too.
Yes.
You can purchase from him, or you can purchase from the front counter, either way. All right, so definitely get your copy of Fasting and Prayer. We will have some here at the Doc Bookshop for those who are YouTubers and Facebookers. Stop by the Doc and get your copy of Fasting and Prayer, God's Healing Therapies by Dr. Hugh Jenkins.
Okay.
Okay?
And
Thank
one
you.
last thing is my metabolic age is 12.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
I am 74 and he's 12.
So,
That's a problem.
so can you
Wow.
do the test?
Say that
Something
again?
you to do run the test, or there's a place to go?
Yeah, do the test because I do the test and it's a scale that does that. It picks up. It's called a BioTrack, and it picks up the weight, the percentage of fat, percentage of muscle mass,
Okay.
percentage of water, and the metabolic age. And when people find out that they're over their age,
Right.
we put them on a fast, and you'd be surprised how
How
that.
fast did I go on?
Well, there's fasting in
Oh, see,
here.
we'll talk more. See, okay. See, we keep going because there's so much to this. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So any other questions? You got to talk to me directly. Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right,
I'm going to go
thank
turn this off.
Okay.
Give me my hand.
God bless you.
Okay. Let me turn this off because we got to wait.
Yeah, I need to do that test.